Okay, another good example of the injector swap program in action. Padded envelope I sent out to one of my customers who asked for it with the return label, so he can take this padded envelope and the Tyvek that's inside this envelope here, put his parts in to the Tyvek envelope, put it in the padded envelope with my label. I'm paying the shipping. I get the package. I can repair his injectors, send them back to him repaired. Real fast, easy process. The injector swap program. This will be a little more advanced than some of my earlier videos. I want you guys to see actually what we do to get this right. Okay, here's 3 injectors he sent in. Caps are still good. Injector blocks are still good. Knurled knobs are going to be replaced. Draw tubes no good. Springs no good. Balls no good. Here you see 3 rows of little beat up parts. These are the remnants of the brass nozzle bushings that were in each of these 3 injectors. I put them in a vise, drilled down with a normal 3/8 drill, trying to clear the nozzle bushing out because we're going back in with all stainless nozzle bushings. Okay, when we do the repair, there's a stainless one for you. Okay, anyway, once I get a hole drilled through with just a number 8 small drill bit, then I use this easy out. You go in while it's still in the vise, you go in reverse threaded, tapping down on it with a hammer. You can usually get a grab, pull it out. You'll get this first third of the metering tip. Drill a little more if you need to get the middle portion, and then usually the third portion you can poke through with your large size paper clip. Nothing magic. We're just going to be poking through like that. Okay, that'll get your old nozzle bushing out. Then you can use some full strength all fiber rinse to clean these babies up and see if they've got any life. If you look down in here, I've already cleaned all these and they look pretty good. I mean, they're definitely clean enough to reuse. This one you can see a little electroplating chipping off here. That's the nickel electroplating on these brass injectors. Nothing wrong with brass, they just don't last as long. Now I came up with this little test. 334 is the result of my test. I'm just using a standard welding tip, cleaning tip device here. You got the 4 main cleaning tips we're going to use, and I'm looking for the limiting tip, the smallest tip I can get through there, where the next size up is going to be too big to go through. The smaller the limiting cleaning tip for a given injector, the longer the life. I start here with counting them 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get the 4th cleaning tip through this injector, but I can't get the 3rd one, which means that hole is smaller than, let's say, these. I can get the 3rd cleaning tip through these 2, but not this one. The key to the life of these injectors is how big that hole is down in there. I don't know if can you see it? There you can see it. Okay, that hole is slightly smaller than that hole. And in the extreme case, I've taught you guys how to use one of these little pointed hand files, push it through. And in the extreme case, this would be like a 0 or a -1. If you can poke it through to where it's extending out, where you can see it coming out, it's toast. This injector block's no good. And that used to be what I tested before. Then I got to doing these tests, and I would just mark it as slow in terms of whether or not it was going to draw at a normal rate or slower than normal. In the real world, you guys experience a lot of other more obvious fixable problems. This is the only one that really kills the injector block. That's it. These can go 5, 6, 10 years, you know. It all depends on how big that little hole is in the end. That's why I make my injector block out of stainless. It's just like a stainless jet. They last longer than a brass jet because they don't get blown out as quick. So nothing wrong with brass. You just need to know that the hole size in there determines the life of this guy. Okay, so if you do the removal of these metering tips yourself, you're going to see them coming out in 3 pieces. I've done this 1,000 times, and that's what they look like pretty much every time. You need to know that, because if you're going to use this little auger, this easy out type tool, you'll need to know, hey, I've gone as far as I need to. I'll be cutting into the injector block itself if I go much further. You don't want to do that, then you'll damage it. Okay, so you see what we've done here. We took 3 injector blocks that came to me all beat up. They had the old draw tube on them. They had the old spring and ball. We're getting rid of all of that. That's really all I'm going to charge you guys for, is the replacement of these simple little parts. And in fact, like I said here, this nozzle bushing that's going into all 3, because they all 3 had beat up old style brass nozzles. They're all going to get the stainless nozzle with the lifetime warranty. And we're going to keep the cap. We're going to give them new draw tubes, new balls, new springs. Put all this back together. This guy will get 4 years out of this one, 3 out of this one, 3 out of this one in general. That's approximate life left in these things. In other words, if this guy sent me this 4-year life injector block back to me in 4 years, this thing's going to come all the way through, isn't it? Saying this thing is toast. So that's the injector swap program in a nutshell. This is what I do. I get these things in dirty, filthy, beat up, corroded, plugged up with chemicals. In this case, it wasn't bad at all. This guy's got plenty of life left in all 3, and he knew it enough to say, hey, I'm going to send this in to Joe and see if he can fix them. He made a good point too. A lot of you guys are sending these in with no ID on them. It's kind of my fault. I'm sending you this return envelope. That's my job, but I should be helping you help me know who you are, because when I get them in, I've got to be able to keep track of them. I got 3 in this weekend. This is the only guys with a name on it. He even called me and told me, how are you going to know whose is whose? Well, I can't. Great point. So he put his name on it, and he's going to get his back first. The other 2 guys are going to have to wait till next week. In fact, this one, we're Saturday morning. This guy will have his in his mailbox on Monday. So you're not down long with this program, as long as I don't get buried, which I hope you guys totally bury me in this thing. Because remember, the #1 goal with the injector swap program, I'm not going to tell you. You need to tell me. Think about it. What's the #1 goal of me doing this? I ain't making any money. Am I making any money selling springs and balls? No. Am I in it for the money? No. Why am I doing it? Think about it. Call me. Tell me. If you get the answer right, I'll give you a free, complete repair job on your injectors. If you get it wrong, you're going to have to pay, just like everybody else. Okay? Thanks for watching. It's Joe signing out for the injector swap program. Call me, 253-653-7209.